Good to see you. You get fairy dust, I get fairy dust. You know who's back there, little Emily, she gets fairy dust too. And today it's another episode of Codependent No More. We're on page 58, and I'm actually gonna read because I can't really say it better. Melody Beattie, awesome book. I'll put my affiliate link in the description. Okay. We're on chapter 5, and we're talking about how to detach. But before we figure that out, we need to look at what we're attached to. And, you know, we think part of the dilemma of detachment feels like we're doing something wrong for fawns, for codependents. We feel like we're doing something wrong if we detach. So I think it's really important to remember that we're not we think, we fool ourselves. I'm gonna just read this first line. Worrying, obsessing, and controlling are illusions. Okay, they're illusions because we think, or we tell ourselves, or our inner saboteur who's in charge, or our childhood trauma that's in charge, or whatever, is telling us we're attached to the person, is telling us I'm attached to the person, but we're actually attached to is the problem. And that's not loving. And I'll just remind you, my path of healing codependency and healing the fawn in me only came about, it would never have come about if you just told me that I should stop helping people, because that was my life's purpose. That's what I was supposed to be doing. That's what was needed to save people and to help them. It was only when I found out that I was hurting them, the illusion, like she says, the illusion is that I'm helping, but the truth is that I'm hurting. And once I realized that, because my truest self is somebody who wants to be helpful, is somebody who, you know, if I could relieve suffering, I would. That's part of who I am as a person. I just was going about it the wrong way. And so I thought I was fulfilling that truth, that inner need, that inner guidance. I thought I was fulfilling that by the illusion of worrying, obsessing, and controlling others. That was a lie that I was telling myself. That was because I had made, my brain had made connections with, I'm a person that's kind and would like to help people. My brain made a connection with that, a codependent one of, oh, I should solve their problems. And when I realized that that connection was dysfunctional, like my food addiction, when I'm tired, it registers in my brain as hunger, so I would overeat. That's dysfunctional. If I'm tired, I should rest. But I wasn't even recognizing that it was tired. I was recognizing it as hunger. And so that's dysfunctional. That was a dysfunctional connection that my brain made. And it turned into a lifelong addiction, as did my codependency. But it's a faulty connection. There's nothing wrong with being tired. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be kind and wanting to, you know, be good and relieve suffering if we can, to be a helpful force in the world. There's nothing wrong with that. That's something to be admired and to be loved and to be cherished and to be honored. It's just that when we, because it helped us survive, when that dysfunctional connection got made, it's a mistake. It's an illusion. Just like food was curing my tiredness, that was a mistake. Do you think I felt less tired after I was binging? No. So same thing here. Do you think I'm more kind and more loving when I'm codependent? No. That's fucked up. That's fucking crazy. That's That's a misconnection. So all we're doing, for me, detachment is all in here. So detachment is not detaching from this person that we love. For me, not detaching from food necessarily because I need it to live, but it's uncovering the faulty connection. So when I'm tired now because I'm in recovery from my addiction, I fucking rest. When I want to be kind in the world, I have ways of figuring it out. It's really hard. I have ways of figuring out if it's helpful or hurtful. And I have a lot of tools for that. So that's what it is. It's a faulty connection. But we call this connection love, and we call this connection attachment. It is not. Love is healthy and wonderful, and we want to give it. What we're doing is dysfunctional, and we're actually blocking love. Okay. So, when I talk about being attached, I'm not, again, we tell ourselves, well, I have to be attached to my person. What a cruel thing. It's like you're not attached to your person. You're attached to the problems of the person. And so, and that's not good for the person. So when I found out that me solving other people's problems was hurting them, that was the only thing that made me stop. It was the only thing that made me stop. And I hope it leads you to the same conclusion, that there actually is a better way, and that it would benefit both parties exponentially better. It's if I stop solving other people's problems and focus on my own problems, number one, I'm going to solve problems. I'm going to be a more happy person as I solve my own problems and heal my own life. That person is going to be happier because then they're going to have self-efficacy and self-pride and self-esteem because they are solving their life's problems. But I take the chance for that all away from them when I steal their problems. Codependents are problem stealers. Codependents are, and if we're problem stealers from other people, we're life stealers. We're stealing their life. That's not good. And I think we do eat other people's consequences. I know weight issues are issues. Food and weight issues are issues for all women, and men probably too. But for codependence, I think that, I don't know the research, but I think that the statistics must be higher, that weight and codependency kind of go together. I think weight and eating disorders and codependency go together, but I think, and the way that I think that works is that we eat other people's consequences. So for anorexics, it's like you're eating other people's consequences so you don't want to eat. And then for bulimics like me, it's I eat people's consequence, but then I got to get rid of them. I got to get rid of them. And then I need to, to squelch, to is that the word? Squelch, to reduce my internal feelings of dysfunction because I'm solving other people's problems. I need to binge, get all that feeling out, and then I need to get rid of it. And then for compulsive overeaters and binge eating disorder people like me, it's just eating and then living with the misery and the consequences of, having to carry it around, to bear the burden of that. So that's just my look. Don't, if that doesn't resonate, don't listen. It's not for you. If that doesn't resonate, this is just my, how I think about this from my years being in having an eating disorder, being in with other people with eating disorders, and having a private practice and just noticing how it all works. But most of all, noticing what the fuck I'm doing. Okay. Worrying, obsessing, and controlling are illusions. Remember what I said I was going to read? I was really planning on reading you 3 paragraphs. This is important. Worrying, obsessing, controlling are illusions. They are tricks we play on ourselves. Tricks we play on ourselves. The connections are tricks we play on ourselves. Another way to think of it is the trick that the brain has played on us because we have reinforced it over so many years. We feel like we're doing something to solve the problems, but we're not, because the problem is a shiny object. It's the shiny object for that person, and it's a shiny object for us. The problem is us being in other people's business. That's the problem. The problem is codependency. The problem is me judging other people that their problems should be solved. We're judging other people that they should be living a different way, so I have to fix it, as opposed to allowing them to live the consequences of their choices, which is another word for life. That's really, really important. Okay, another thing I want to say about this is codependency. Let me see how I want to say it, because I'm just wrapping my head around this. Let me tell you how I'm getting to the point, is worrying, obsessing, and controlling are illusions. That's flight mode. Worrying, obsessing, according to Pete Walker, worrying, obsessing, and controlling are flight mode. And how? So flight mode, fight or flight. I always talk about freezing and fawning because those are my main ones, but codependency, I think, is a flight mode. It's flight and fawn, obviously. It's fawning, of course, but this part of it is flight. And so I got to fix their problem. I got to fix their problem. I got to fix their problem. Oh God, what are they going to do? Oh God, how is this going to impact me? Oh God, oh God. All of that obsessing and worrying. Oh, that person should stop drinking. That person should stop drinking. That person should stop drugging. That person should stop. That person should weigh less. That person should weigh more. That person, just being obsessed over that person shouldn't date that person. Like this constant. And that's flight mode because we're not present. We're not living our life if we're, we're gone into this illusion of these disconnections, this codependent disconnection. So what we're doing is this chapter is really setting a foundation for figuring out how to detach with love, and we might have to call it something else. Because what I've experienced, maybe it'll be fine once we lay this groundwork, but a lot of people have issues with detachment because it feels like abandonment. And a lot of codependents have been abandoned in various and many ways. And so, but that's not what we're doing. We're not abandoning anybody. And what I see, how I do it, my work, again, this may not be how she's talking about it, but what I do is I detach myself from the illusion. I detach myself from my own codependent needs. I detach myself from my own codependent issues and thoughts. I detach myself from flight mode. But let's just talk about flight mode for one more second before I go. Flight mode, notice that the obsessing and controlling and whatever, we're not actually solving the problem. We're just in our heads and we're not present. And also it's like, I can't detach from this person. I love this person so much. I always kind of like making fun of the codependent, but I'm making fun of myself. I can't detach from my person, except when we're obsessed. What does she say? Obsessing, worrying. Oh, worrying is codependency, and worrying is flight mode. And so, I can't detach from my person. Oh my God, they should stop drinking. Oh my God. Oh, what are they going to do? What if they're, can their liver handle it? Are they going to get a DUI? Blah, 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 blah. How am I attached? If I'm attached in my head to, oh God, what am I going to do? What is this person going to do? How am I going to stop this person? What do I have to do? How am I attached to the person? How am I loving that person? I'm not. Again, it's a lie. It's a trick. It's a trick. And one of my things is figuring out what the inner saboteur is up to, what the old wiring is up to, what the codependency is up to. For me, all of these are the same word. Inner saboteur is another name for the codependent me. The inner saboteur is another name for the fawn in me. You know, the dysfunctional fawn, I should say. Okay. So, laying the groundwork. We're hurting people. We're not attached when we think we are. We're actually more detached when we think we're attached. Okay, that is really good luck to us all, because the psyche is complex. The psyche is vast, and we must, in order to heal, we must embrace the paradoxes of the psyche. And that's one of them. When you think you're in codependency and fawning, when you think you're attached, you're not. When you think you're detached, you're not that either. It's the opposite. It's like when you truly detach with love, as Melody Beattie describes it, and I believe she coined the term, you're actually more attached. And when you refuse to detach with love, you're less attached. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Love you. Bye.